Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is going to be about my longest lasting fragrances with the best projection. But before we get into it, storytime corner, skippers, you can fast forward. Has anybody used self-clean mode on their ovens? Because someone told me that it's a great idea to use self-clean mode. You know who you are. And I did, and I turned it on overnight. So I knew what to expect. Like basically what happens is your oven locks. For those of you who haven't used it, your oven locks and then it gets really, really hot inside. And what happens is that your oven basically turns into an incinerator for a few hours and burns everything off. And then you open it up and it's supposed to be like sparkling clean inside. That's how it's supposed to go, allegedly. I did it. I turned it on in the evening. I didn't know what to expect, really. I didn't know how it all works. I just knew what my end result is supposed to be. Turn it on, go upstairs, it's bedtime. It's like 11 p.m. So I thought it'd be a great idea to do it before bed because then I would wake up in the morning to a perfectly clean oven. Go upstairs, I'm like, I haven't fallen asleep yet. And then my alarm system goes on. I smelled like a funny smell, but I thought that was just like part of it because, you know, sometimes if you run your fireplace or your oven, like you can just smell it upstairs kind of. It didn't alarm me. And then my alarm goes off in my house, and my alarm is like, it's a lady that talks to you, and it goes, like, it beeps, and then she goes, the alarm may sound. The alarm is loud. And I'm like, holy shit, what is happening? So I turn on all my lights. The whole house is covered in smoke. There's smoke everywhere in the hallways. The entire house is like smoggy. And I went and it was like, this is like already midnight basically. I had to open all the windows. This was one of those nights that it was freezing. It was like minus 20 Celsius outside. Opened all the windows. My cat's freaking out. The other two, like the two dogs are like, they're just kind of whatever about it. But I think the alarm scared the cat. So anyway, I have to vent out my entire house. It takes about 20 minutes, get the smoke out of there. And so I just turned it on. I had to just unplug my oven. But like my oven wasn't even dirty. And then it just smoked up my entire house. So I'm pretty sure it malfunctioned because then a light started going off on my oven saying like something like, I think it meant to say error because it was like just 3 letters. But if you piece it together, I think it's meant to say error. So that was really scary, but everything's fine. My house is fine. I'm fine. All the pets are fine. But yeah, be careful when you use self-clean on your oven. And now we can get into fragrances. So before I get into the ones that I'm going to talk to you guys about, I just want to mention that these are my personal longest lasting fragrances with the best projection that I own. These are not the best ones in the world. I haven't tried all fragrances in the world. These are just the ones from my collection. And also they are not ones that I typically gravitate towards. These fragrances are quite heavier, sweeter. Some of them are ones that I really like, but other ones I kind of steer away from. They're not bad fragrances. They are super long lasting. They're good, but they're not in my taste. So I just have to mention that. And again, this is from my experience. These are not the most ever. These are just the ones I know. So here we go. The first one, and these are in no particular order. I'm just going to pull them as we go. The first one is Unknown Pleasures by Kerosene. These, by the way, are mostly women's fragrances. Some of them are unisex, but this list is mostly for the ladies. So yeah, Unknown Pleasures by Kerosene. This one is just a delicious Earl Grey, kind of like London fog sort of scent. I wore it a few times. It's very strong. Like if you spill this, I spilled it on my counter because I was giving someone a decant. I spilled a little bit on my counter and my counter smelled for days. Like it will not leave the surface that it's on. So I'll spray it here. It opens up with like a lemony, kind of almost like a lemony dessert. It's very, very gourmand. It opens up with a lemony dessert and then it fades into a tea scent. So like a creamy tea, like an Earl Grey tea. And then eventually it develops, there's a scent of waffles in there. And you can smell all of those notes, like a yummy citrusy dessert with Earl Grey tea, like the best Earl Grey tea you've ever had in your life. That very, very rich, like creamy, I guess it's a London fog, right? When it's creamy and sweet, that's what it is. and waffles. And it's a very, very indulgent fragrance. This one will last you the entire day and then some. So like easily 20 hours, maybe 24 hours. I've put it on and it stayed and stayed and stayed. So if that's what you guys are looking for and you're into gourmands, this is a great house, Kerosene, and this is the only fragrance that I own from them, Unknown Pleasures, but I would really want to try some more because the quality is incredible. The scent is like nothing I've ever smelled before, and I really mean that. There's nothing that I've ever smelled that smells quite like this. It's really delicious. And you guys know I'm not a gourmand person, but the gourmands that I have, I really, really love, and this is one of them. So yeah, that's Unknown Pleasures by Kerosene. The next one is Franck Boclet Sugar, and this fragrance is a niche as well. It smells to me like a very elegant burnt sugar, very dessert-like as well. I wouldn't call this a gourmand. Let me spray this. The sprayer is amazing on this bottle. It's marshmallowy with honey. It's very, very rich. It's got that almost like a little bit of like burnt brown sugar scent to it, and some metallic-y nuances. It's very elegant, it's very classy. This one is unisex, and it just makes me think of when you are at a very lavish event and there's just a massive dessert table, and not that it smells very much like dessert, but it's just like that indulgent luxury is what this fragrance is about for me, and it's very classy and elegant with a lot of sweetness and depth to it. And this one has some tartness to it as well. It has cassis, it has some fruits in there. I believe there's pear and raspberry, but you can't really smell them. It's all very, very well blended. You can't isolate those notes. It just smells very indulgent and rich, and it will last you, again, all day. Like, it will last you 12 hours plus. I haven't worn this a lot, I'll be honest. I've only wore it a couple of times, but I do find that it lasts really well. The projection is good as well. And then with the previous one that I mentioned, the projection is very good as well. Like, I'll get about like 1.5 to 2 feet. I'm assuming, because I don't really know, there's no way of measuring that unless you come up to someone and ask them, from which distance can you smell me? Like when you like sample a wine and you start down here and you're like, can I smell it? And then like you bring it closer to your nose, like, you know, the way that you test wine. This is like kind of the same thing with fragrances, but you need another person. So I'm just kind of assuming here. Yeah, I do personally really like Sugar from Franck Boclet. So if you guys want to look for that, I'll try to link everything down below for you, but it is a niche brand. There's only a few stores that carry it. So I'll try to source it for you guys. The next one I only have a sample of, and it's from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and it's Oud Satin Mood. And this is the Extrait de Parfum. This one is a little bit more powdery than the original Oud Satin Mood, but it is my favorite of the Oud collection from this house. I love all creations by Francis Kurkdjian. He's one of my favorite noses. There's another fragrance on this list that he contributed to, and I just find he knows how to do a rose flawlessly. This is Oud and Rose and Vanilla. I'll spray it. It's beautiful. It's one of my absolute favorites. The quality in this is outstanding. I just want to smell like this all the time when I go out to events. It's my absolute favorite for going out personally, especially in the winter time. It's a very cool weather scent, and it is, yeah, it's just absolutely stunning. It's not too sweet. It's got a really good balance of just the oud is very subtle. The rose is there with the vanilla. It's quite powdery. Just, I think someone said that it smells like Turkish delight, and I kind of see that, like sort of powdery, dessert-like vibe about it, but I wouldn't classify this as a gourmand at all. It's just a beautiful sweet rose with oud and vanilla. Yeah, it's quite flawless, honestly. And the projection on this is insane, and I know this because I'll spray it on like a paper like this. I'll leave it in the kitchen, and I can smell it from like 10 feet away from another part of my house. Like when I'm coming downstairs, I can already smell it from my kitchen. It is like nuclear. It's insane. So the projection on this, hands down, is incredible. I would almost even say that it's better than Baccarat Rouge 540, which is an honorable mention. I guess I might as well just mention it now. It's just been mentioned so many times. Everybody already knows it's very long lasting. It's very good. It has massive projection. So I'm just going to kind of throw it out there as an honorable mention. And here is my bottle. And yeah, it's a very good scent as well. But I will say that Oud Satin Mood has arguably better projection than Baccarat Rouge 540. They both have an amazing trail, but yeah, my pick is Oud Satin Mood for sure. Like, it's one of my absolute favorites. I've mentioned this in a couple of other videos, but if you guys don't know, you can actually go on the Maison Francis Kurkdjian website and order a sample pack, and it's, I believe, €14. You end up getting 6 samples. So you select 4, and that's what the €14 is, but then they also give you a bonus too at checkout, and the shipping is free. I'm pretty sure worldwide. I'm in Canada and I got free shipping, and it comes from France. So buying fragrances from them also, you'll get the best price. So when I do buy full bottles, which so far has been only once, I buy directly from them. The next one I only have a decant of, and it is Gallagher Rose All Day. So I just purchased a decant of it, and I'm still working on this fragrance. It is a challenging one for me, but it is insanely long lasting. It's a very good quality fragrance. It's very rich and deep, and it almost smells like fermenting fruit. Like, it's very heavy on the plum, but it's like a very, very ripe plum, like an overripe plum, and it almost has that boozy, fermented scent to it. So this one is quite boozy. If you guys are looking for a boozy scent, this is it. It's very sweet as well, and I can smell the honey in here and the pineapple. I think maybe what it is the pineapple, because you know when you have like an overripe pineapple, that scent from the overripe pineapple is what I'm picking up in here, along with like brown sugar nuances and something metallic. There's a metallic note in here. It's a very complex fragrance. If you want to challenge your nose and you want to try something very different, the Rosé All Day from Gallagher Fragrances is undeniably a good fragrance. I am just not sure personally if I like it or if I would wear it. I wore it once and I did struggle with it, honestly, but it is incredibly long lasting. It will last you a full day, and the projection on it as well is very good. Yeah, I'm still working through it. I can appreciate that it's a very good quality fragrance, but it's something that I've never smelled before. It's very unique, and I'm still trying to figure it out. The next one is one that I recently purchased, and it is Nina Ricci Rose Extase. It's a very pretty rose as well, and this one is one that Francis Kurkdjian contributed to. So it's a very sweet, uplifting, playful, kind of flirty rose. It's got raspberry in there and some sort of woodiness. It's very sweet, kind of a jammy rose, but powdery as well. It's very elegant. It's not immature. It's a very like silky smooth, very well blended rose. Like, this man knows how to do rose. Everything that Francis Kurkdjian's contributed to, in my opinion, that has rose in it has been flawless, and this one's very, very good. It's very affordable as well. This is not niche like the other ones that I've mentioned before. This one you can easily get for $40 or $50. I'm talking Canadian dollars. I really like it. It's one that I crave. It's one that I apply, and I really like enjoy it when it's around me. The scent bubble is quite big. I think probably about over a foot, like about a foot or so, and it's rubbed off on my clothing. When I wear it, it stays for a really long time, and it's not an obnoxious sweet scent. It's one of those very elegant, pretty sweet roses. It reminds me a little bit of Delina from Parfums de Marly, but honestly, I do prefer this. I have a lot of samples of Delina now, and I don't think that it is full bottle worthy for what it is, in my opinion. But this one is like a very elegant rose, kind of jammy, sweet, slightly tart rose, in that same family, like in that same realm of rose. It's not a dupe for Delina, but it is a great, like, playful rose fragrance. So that's Nina Ricci Rose Extase. The next one is one of my absolute personal favorites, and it's a very polarizing scent, and it is Alien from Mugler. This one has been talked about a bunch of times. I won't go too deep into it, but it only has 3 notes. It's jasmine, amber, and woody notes. And the fragrance that comes out is just insanely polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. It's either everything that you've ever wanted in a jasmine fragrance or you just can't stand it. I really, really like it, and I'm gonna spray it. It's very sexy, it's very seductive, it lasts all day. I'll spray it if it's like early evening because I usually just wear this when I'm going out. Let's say it's like 6 p.m. I'll spray it and I can smell it the next morning, like until like 8 or 9 a.m. I can easily still smell it. Now that it's been reformulated, it does smell a little bit different. So it does smell a little bit soapier. That's probably the best way that I can describe it, but it's basically the same scent. It's still just as beautiful. It's still one of my favorites, and if I had to say, I do prefer it pre-reformulation, but the reformulation really didn't damage it much. So that's still one of my absolute favorites. Projection is incredible. Everybody will pick up a little bit of the trail of your scent, and the longevity again is one of the best. And this is one of the fragrances that I personally really enjoy wearing. I do find that it's a cold weather scent. I wouldn't say that it's an all season scent. I wouldn't really call it signature scent worthy just because it's not one that you can wear all the time. But in the wintertime, it's one of my most worn scents for sure. So that's Alien from Mugler. Moving on. The next fragrance is Kenzo Jungle L'Elephant. This is my bottle. It's a tester bottle, so I don't have the elephant cap. But this one is a very rich, cold weather scent. It's very heavy on the spices. It's very heavy on the clove and cardamom. At first, when you spray it, all of the spices just kind of overwhelm your nose and burn it a little bit, at least for me, but I'm very sensitive to spices. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's flawlessly blended. The nose behind this is actually Dominique Ropion, who is behind a lot of Frederic Malle fragrances, the ones that are very popular and have all the impact, you know, the classics, Portrait of a Lady, Cardinal Flower, The Night, Promise, those ones that are very bold. He's the nose behind those, so you can expect something very bold from this, and it is very bold. It is very well blended. It is niche quality. It's not sweet. It's very, very spicy. It's very elegant. It's very mature as well. Like, I see this on somebody who's a very classy, elegant lady of stature, you know what I mean? And it's not, like, I don't feel like it suits me. I do appreciate the fragrance. I think it's a very well-made fragrance, but I just don't feel like I'm up there yet. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit intimidating, this scent, but it's just a beautiful fall and winter scent. It lasts like nonstop. Like, it goes and goes and goes. It's very, very bold. It's very noticeable. You have to be careful not to overspray this one because even 2 sprays is already like very sufficient. I don't recommend blind buying this one because it is very unique. It is very much for the spice lover. So I guess if you know that you love clove and you love cardamom and you're looking for something very like punchy, like in your face, go for it. I guess then you can blind buy it, but generally this isn't one that I would say is good for blind buying. But lasting power is out of this world. Projection is very good as well. So that is Kenzo Jungle L'Elephant. Then we have Amouage Journey Woman. And I only have a sample which I purchased from Niche Essence. So here it is, and I'll spray it. This one is very, very apricot. I remember because I wore it a couple of times. It is sweet. It's classified as an oriental floral, but I would definitely say that it's gourmand. Immediately I pick up the honey, the apricot. The apricot is very, very present in this fragrance. The tobacco as well, and the saffron is very noticeable. It's very sweet. Very, very sweet, but it's velvety and it's smooth. It's very rich. You have to like apricot. This is for the apricot lover. If you don't like apricot, you have no business trying this fragrance. You won't like it. It smells like, you know that apricot paste, like that Middle Eastern treat? It's like a flat kind of like apricot paste, and then you just kind of like rip it. And Yeah, it smells just like that. I can't stress this enough. It is incredibly sweet and very, very apricot heavy. So if you like gourmands, you like apricot, give this one a try. But the longevity on this one, again, is out of this world. This one I've tried a few times, like just from the tester bottle. And it's definitely a cold weather scent. I would say probably just a winter scent in my opinion. It's very sweet. It's very honey heavy. It's very apricot heavy, and it just has a lot of impact in that sense. The projection again is very good as well. The longevity is it's gonna last you a full day. It's gonna last you 12 to 14 hours for sure. And it's very velvety and smooth. It's like if you think of the texture of an apricot, that sort of fuzziness, sort of like softness, this fragrance has that. It smells like the texture of an apricot, sort of. So if that sounds appealing to you, then definitely give this a try. Again, my sample is from Niche Essence. They're based in Canada, but yeah, they'll send it to you in one of these. The next one is Poison Girl, and I just got a sample from Sephora. So this one is very sweet as well. Vanilla and almond. It's like a girlier, more playful, flirty version of Hypnotic Poison, which if you guys have watched my video of overhyped fragrances, I'll put a card up somewhere here. I don't love, but this one I actually really do like. It's just a little bit lighter and more playful. It doesn't smell as much like cake batter to me. It just smells a little bit like marzipan, you know, marzipan, that almond paste. Yeah, it's really yummy. It's really actually really nice. I would say this is best suitable for somebody like 25 and under, but like I'm 30 and I'd wear this, and like really anybody can wear this. It's a great like going out fragrance. If you're going out to a party, kind of a flirty situation, you want to wear something sweet and playful. Poison Girl lasts, again, a full day. So I would get probably 10 to 12 hours out of it. The projection bubble is also about a foot. I'm going to say all of them are about a foot because I've only ever asked somebody to come that close to me to smell it. And yeah, they can smell it. So that's my indicator. But I can smell it around myself as well when I wear it. And it's a really nice scent. So I do actually really like Poison Girl. So funny because I actually don't like Hypnotic Poison at all, but I do like Poison Girl, and they have very, very similar notes. And the last couple are just honorable mentions, and that's because one of them is discontinued and the other one is an oil fragrance. So Pure Poison Elixir, I love this one. It's a really, really good, seductive white floral, very clean smelling, very beautiful. And this one's been discontinued. You can't get this anymore, but Pure Poison is also very good. I'm not sure about the longevity on Pure Poison, but I know that this one, I usually put it on after a shower and it will last me until the next day. Like it stays on my skin for a really long time. I don't know if it's just me and it just does well on my skin, but I do find that it's incredibly long lasting, and the projection on this is huge. Like, I want to say 2 feet. It smells like Pure Poison pre-reformulation. I also really like the original Pure Poison, but I just don't see a point of having a full bottle because I have the Elixir. But once this runs out, I probably will just get a full bottle of Pure Poison because this is getting really hard to come by right now. So those are all of my top picks for longest lasting fragrances with the best projection. And if you guys have any other suggestions, please leave a comment down below and let me know what your best long lasting fragrances are. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.